and the news from Trump world. Let's start with Saturday. Can you believe it? Donald Trump launched his 2020 campaign for re-election. He's only been president for 4 weeks now. Already, he is tired of the White House, sick of the White House. Reports are that he feels very lonely there. He doesn't like it. He gets headaches. He can't wait to get out of the White House for the weekends. And he doesn't want anything to do with governing, solving problems, getting things done. The reason we elected him, we didn't, I didn't, you didn't, but some people did, is to govern. He has no interest in governing. What he really likes, and he got back at it Saturday, what he really gets off on is soaking up in the adulation of the crowds. And so he calls a big campaign rally, which you and I paid for, by the way. You know, his campaign rallies used to be he'd roll up in the Trump plane, get off the Trump plane, stand in front of it, and give a big campaign speech. All right? That was fine. Now, I got a problem with this. I hope you do too. Now he rolls up on Air Force One, comes off, which we're paying for, comes off Air Force One with all the hyped up patriotic campaign music, stands in front of it with the presidential seal, and gives a campaign speech. And that's exactly what it was. At the Boeing plant on Thursday, also on Friday, and at Melbourne, Florida, Saturday afternoon, a big campaign rally. So that's what he likes. And by the way, they're bragging about the size of the crowd. I just got to say before we get to some of the outrageous things he said. Okay, there were 9,000 people there. You know what? That's not such a big deal. I don't care what they say. That's Bernie. Look, here's the president of the United States with all this advanced publicity. First big campaign rally of his presidency. Already talking about 2020. Air Force One. They got days to build this crowd. 9,000 people turned out. You know, that's like 1/3 of Bernie Sanders' crowds. Jane Sanders would have got a bigger crowd than 9,000 people. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic, right? So anyhow, he gets out there, and you know what? He gave the same. It was just like it was the old campaign speech. What did he do? He bragged about the size of the crowd. He talked about how great he is. He made all these same promises he made during his campaign. It was like Groundhog Day. And of course, he attacked the media. Here, Donald Trump this is from the rally, on health care. What are we going to do?
Our plan will be much better health care at a much lower cost, okay?
What? I mean, come on. I mean, how many times can he say it and people still believe it? Also, he said, of course, he was going to repeal Obamacare on day one. He hasn't done it. They didn't do it. You can go back month after month after month during the campaign. He would make the same promise, and you can't do it. Look, Republicans, we've said that so many times. If they had a better plan, they would have come up with it. They had 7 years, and they did not. On immigration, oh yeah, we're going to keep those bad people out of this country.
And I listen to these judges talk and talk and talk. So unfair. So we'll be doing something over the next couple of days. We don't give up. We never give up.
Yeah. So he rolled out his immigration ban, his Muslim ban, and what happened? It was shot down 3 times in the courts. Which at his news conference, by the way, on Thursday, he insisted with a smooth rollout. Look, let's face it. It was a disaster. It's not in effect because it was so badly written and so hurriedly pushed out there that they just got it wrong. Egg on their face, which, of course, Donald Trump would never admit because, as he said in his news conference, his administration is really a finely tuned machine, well-oiled machine. Yeah, that's not what it looks like to anybody else. And at the rally, of course, like once again, which he did every campaign stop, right? Again, this is a replay of his campaign. He turned around, points to the media. There's the enemy.
When the media lies to people, I will never, ever let them get away with it. I will do whatever I can that they don't get away with it. They have their own agenda, and their agenda is not your agenda.
Yeah, there you go. In fact, the day before, he had tweeted out that the media, not just that he disagrees with the media, not just that he thinks that we treat him unfairly, but that the media, he says, is the enemy of the American people. And he repeated that theme at his campaign rally down there in Florida. But again, the difference, I think it's important to point out the difference between this campaign rally and the other ones is that this campaign rally came at taxpayers' expense. Now, technically, I believe, at least it used to be, when President Obama or any of the other presidents would go out on a campaign, a political event, and this was strictly Boeing was a campaign speech, but he was there as president to see the rollout of the new Boeing Dreamliner. So they probably wrote that off as an official government expense. Saturday was purely political. So technically, the campaign is supposed to pay half of that because he's still president of the United States. I'd like to know what even the half of that cost us to fly Air Force One from Palm Beach up to Melbourne and back with all the Social Security, with all the people on board, with all the extra protection at the rally. Expensive little jaunt for us taxpayers, on top of the fact that, again, for the third weekend in a row, Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort and at his golf resort, with all of those extra rooms down there needed for staff, for Secret Service, and other security, all of that at taxpayers' expense. And that money goes ka-ching into the coffers of Mar-a-Lago and then ka-ching into the pockets of Donald Trump. And, by the way, at the same time, we are paying for Secret Service protection for Eric Trump and Donnie Jr., who are running off to Dubai and opening a new golf course in Dubai. They're conducting business deals, which we're paying for their protection. This presidency is costing us taxpayers more than, and it's already been shown, already been reported, more than any other president in history. That's what you get when you get Donald Trump in there.
The official estimate, by the way, is $10 million already, just these 3 visits to Mar-a-Lago these past 3 weekends. And the average for Obama per year, $12 million.
Per year?
Per year, $12 million.
Yeah.
For these types of
I mean, just think
jaunts.
about it, right? If President Obama was going to play golf, what did he do? Got in the car, drove to Andrews Air Force Base, okay? He was driven there, of course, but I mean, that's about what, Jamie, 15 miles, maybe 20 miles max?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You can imagine 20-mile car ride costs a hell of a lot less than flying Air Force One down to Mar-a-Lago.